Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Hey, welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. Yesterday we stepped into the idea that the love force may be more than a feeling. Maybe love is not just something that rises inside of us for a moment and then fades. Maybe it is something deeper, a current, a movement, a force that connects, heals, widens, and brings us back to who we really are. Today I want to stay with that thought, but bring it closer to everyday life. Because if love is a real force, then the question becomes personal. How do we live with it? How do we stop treating love like an occasional mood and start trusting it as the current beneath us? That image helps me. A current. You may not always see it from the surface. The water can look calm or choppy or dark or full of reflections that make it hard to know what is happening underneath. But beneath all that, something is moving. I think love can be like that. I really do. There are seasons when we feel it clearly. The heart opens, the connection is obvious, the kindness comes naturally. We know what to do, or at least we know the next right thing. Then there are other seasons when love feels buried. We're tired, we're hurt, we're frustrated with people, with ourselves, with the world. The current is still there, but we're not feeling it as easily. And that doesn't mean that it's disappeared. It may simply mean that we are blocked. I know what that feels like. There are times when I want to be loving, but I'm carrying too much noise inside. Worry gets loud. Resentment starts making speeches. Fear brings a whole slideshow and acts like it was invited. In those moments, love may not feel like a warm glow. It may feel like a choice to pause before I speak. It may feel like admitting I'm wrong, or it may feel like refusing to turn another person into a cartoon version of themselves just because I'm angry. That's not glamorous, but it's real. Maybe trusting the current of love does not mean that we always feel peaceful. In fact, it doesn't. Maybe it means we learn how to return to love when something in us has drifted away from it. Return is a powerful word. It suggests that we're not creating love from nothing. We are coming back to something that was already true. Coming back to tenderness after fear has made us hard. Coming back to mercy after resentment has tried to take over the room. Coming back to connection after isolation has convinced us that nobody understands. I think much of the spiritual life and maybe much of the human life is learning how to return. Not once, but again and again. There's no shame in that. We are human. We wander, we get defensive, we speak too quickly, we protect old wounds in ways that accidentally create new ones. But the love force keeps inviting us back, and you know it. Not with a wagging finger either, like that, no, more like a hand extended. Come back to what is true. That may be the quiet work of love in us. It keeps reminding us that separation is not the deepest truth, even when separation feels convincing. When we are afraid, we tend to shrink the world down to ourselves. My pain, my safety, my argument, my need to be right, my fear of being hurt again. Love doesn't erase the self, but it opens the door and lets others matter too. That changes the atmosphere inside of us. Suddenly, the person in front of us is not just an obstacle, a threat, or a problem to solve. They are a life, a story, a heart carrying things that we may never fully know. And that doesn't mean that we excuse harm either. It doesn't mean that boundaries disappear. I keep coming back to that because that's important. Real love is not the same as letting people walk through the house with muddy boots and call it intimacy. Love has wisdom. But even when love says no, it doesn't have to become cruel. That's one way I recognize the current. Cruelty shrinks me. Love steadies me. Cruelty may feel powerful for a moment, but afterwards something in the soul feels smaller. Love may ask more courage, but it leaves more room to breathe. So maybe the practice is simple, even if it's not easy. When we feel ourselves tightening, we pause. When we feel ourselves dehumanizing someone, we remember that they are more than the worst thing that we know about them. That's an important one. When we feel despair trying to close every window, we look for one small act of care that is still possible. Not because one act fixes everything, but because one act can put us back in the current. A message, a softer answer, a meal, an apology, a moment of attention when someone expected to be ignored. Small things matter because love knows how to move through them. The current does not ask us to become heroic. Every morning before breakfast, it doesn't. It doesn't have. We don't have to be heroic every morning before breakfast, thank goodness, because most mornings I'm still negotiating with coffee. It asks us to become available, and that word keeps returning to me. Available. Open enough to be moved. Honest enough to notice when we're blocked. Humble enough to return when we drift. Maybe that's how we live with the love force. We stop demanding that love always arrive as a feeling. We begin to recognize it as a direction toward connection, toward healing, toward mercy, toward the kind of truth that doesn't need to destroy in order to be honest. And when we lose our way, as all of us do, we listen for the current beneath the noise. Because it's still moving. It's still calling. It is still trying to carry us back to ourselves, back to one another, back to the source of everything that makes life worth living. Seriously, guys, think about people that have loved you, and you know that they've loved you. People anywhere in your life. That love's still there, and it's still working. I'm Bob Barnett, guys, and this is Infinite Threads, and I love you very, very, very much. And you know what I need you to do. Pass that on, okay? Later, Gators. Bye-bye.
Fears